and this customizations will go on for a very long time, and it will go deeper and deeper as we grow. We are just not scoring on product usage or ICP match and stuff like that. We a growing organization where they're experimenting a lot with product market fit, they're experimenting with a repeatable message. So
Yes, so probably save money on HubSpot Pro versus Salesforce, then probably outreach, which is all runs into thousands of dollars a month or maybe more, right? Hello everyone. We are on the next episode of Unwrapping Marketing, one piece at a time. Today we have Kinjal, CMO at DronaHQ. I worked with DronaHQ way back in 2021 for some time. I helped them set up their outbound process, and I've known Kinjal for like close to 3 years now, since the COVID times. Even though we had a very little chance to interact, I think I just wanted to introduce her here. Kinjal, I would love for you to introduce yourself and tell us about your current role and what you do at DronaHQ.
thank you, Karthik, for inviting me here. I am heading the growth marketing and marketing function at DronaHQ. DronaHQ is a low-code app development platform, B2B SaaS tech platform where businesses can build custom applications and operational tools very fast. And I help from online, offline events, all kind of marketing, and specifically major focus is growth marketing for getting more SaaS leads from global audience.
Got it. So way back, right? I also used to work at Kistlo. So when I started consulting for Drona, it was predominantly a low code, no code like workflow. You can build your own workflows, right? And there was no use case for. And of course, and I suggested Jinan, to use a different CRM. You basically were using your own platform for, marketing automation, also for CRM. Now you mentioned that you also use it for sales enablement. Can you, explain to the audience on, what you have done with the platform yourself? Like, how do you use your own platform for, sales and marketing, in terms of tools, right?
Yeah, it's a very unique case, not unique, but probably a very common case of dog fooding our own product. We have, we started off small. We used a couple of CRMs in the initial phase of our journey, and we realized that we would require a lot of deeper integrations with our product, with our website, with various other tools. And this customizations will go on for a very long time, and it will go deeper and deeper as we grow. That is when we said, okay, let's try and build our own systems the way we want, the custom solutions, the custom CRM, because each organization, I believe, has its own custom process. And especially for growing organizations where we do not require the complete fledge of the suite of CRM and the marketing automation tools which are available, migrating and customizing. Because as a growing organization where we were initially, trying to understand where is our product market fit, what kind of because no code as a space was evolving at that moment. We were also experimenting a lot with, from messaging to lead generation to a lot of other things. It wasn't a set process that this is how it will definitely go forward. We started from a small, simple tools, like we started building our own forms on the platform, integrating it with the website. We started building, as you had seen, the outbound process that we had started. We started integrating it with emailing tool like SendGrid and Twilio. We started creating our own sequences when a lead comes, because the SaaS platform, once we get the leads, we want to nurture them further. So we started creating our own nurturing sequences. So we started creating smaller tools and applications first, and then slowly we went on to make it to a full-fledged system. We have a complete marketing automation, outreach, signals, We have sales enablement, post sales, invoicing, contracting, everything on this platform itself. Uh, we have integrated Sales Navigator, Calendly. We have integrated our Slack. So once we know every day how many leads came or how many good leads were there, if a lead converts to something else, we capture a lot of signals from the product also, because um, we have the free trial of the product. Our users are using the product. We pick up signals where we see, hey, this lead is going to a particular pricing page or a particular content piece, and then accordingly those signals are captured within the CRM. Also, there are notifications to a particular team where they understand what is the next step of conversation to be done. So those integrations are done. We have integrated with, as I mentioned, Sales Navigator. So what is the next LinkedIn request stuff that we want to send? We have incorporated AI within this, so that while our SDR identifies these are the good leads, we have our scoring mechanism, plus we have a manual intervention in between. We wanted to make sure we are just not scoring on product usage or ICP match and stuff like that. We, as you said, as we grow, every organization will have a different method to fine tune the best leads. So we have a manual intervention in place, and then the person can, looking at all the parameters, can give a good prompt and kind of make a script ready for the next whole cadence, that hey, in the WhatsApp call I would want you to focus on these elements. In the email, on the manual email, these are the important elements this organization is focusing on, or this designation or this person or this prospect is focusing on. um, what kind of emails to be written. There are some prompts, and always there are options to edit those emails and stuff. So we have integrated with, say, reverse lookup. We have done clear bid integrations. So all that functionality is giving us an opportunity to have change the whole flow, the whole outreach, and um, change and try and experiment in a very quick manner, without depending a lot on a probable legendary CMS or a marketing automation tool, and also saving us lots of dollars at this moment. Uh, yeah. So
Yeah,
I feel a growing organization where they're experimenting a lot with product market fit, they're experimenting with a repeatable message. So because we are also tracking what kind of customers, what are stories which are repeating. We might be getting customers across different industries and different verticals, but what are the particular repeatable stories? So those kind of things can be quickly pulled back, and I feel B2B is a space where um, if you are into a growing stage, you have to be very quick in adapting to the needs of the market.
So you're basically saying your martech spend is next to nothing.
Oh, no, no, not next to nothing. Of course, we have integrated with so many tools, but we are definitely keeping a cap on the spends on the tools that we could have. Easily the dollar spends would have gone skyrocketing. So
Just probably save money on HubSpot Pro versus Salesforce, then probably outreach, which is all runs into thousands of dollars a month or maybe more, right? Uh,
probably yes, we would have at this moment, but yeah, in the growing stage, I think this is, of course, I don't see at this moment that I need any other tool at this moment. But yes, we have not just that, contracting, proposal, invoicing, connecting with our financial systems. We have integrated everything. Yeah, I
correct.
mean,
So
I think
are you
growing organizations should explore um uh, uh, experimenting with custom tools. Maybe, I mean, if they have the space and the time, they should experiment. Yeah.
so do you also sell this for as a part of your product or solution, or is it only internal?
This we have created internal, but we have an offering like an HR in a box. We also have a marketing in a box kind of an offering, which
Correct.
you can take these modules, and then of course there'll be customization according to you. And as everybody understands, low code, no code you will iterate and you will do your own customizations, but it'll be easier than a skilled resource. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So when you mentioned about getting multiple different industries into your funnel, right? So especially
Yeah.
when it comes to industry agnostic product like yours, so
Yeah.
how do you define your segment, or how do you define your ICP in a way that you're focusing on not everybody but a certain set of industries, right? So it's very important for a SaaS company to define their ICP, even if it is industry agnostic, right? So what is your suggestion, and what have you done in terms of making sure that you are focusing on the right ICP, especially for DronaHQ?
Yeah. So, of course, by looking at the use cases and the stories, what kind of
Hmm.
use cases and stories are our audience is building more. So we came with a lot of background from HR applications. So we had that as an experience at that moment, and we expanded that with a lot of employee engagement, sales enablement, and employee tools initially, and we understood. Areas lot of times customers give us a lot of ideas. I saw so many use cases where I was not focusing on manufacturing as a forte or a industry, but then customers came up with they signed up and they started building, and they connected and said that, hey, this is what we're building, we might want to need some more details. And I understood they are integrating with their IoT platforms, they are integrating with their POS platforms. So as an organization, we have found some use cases which are repeatable, which
Hmm.
are commonly going again and again, and then we started focusing more on those areas. A second is sometimes we do not initially, like, we did not have option of a self-hosted version of the whole platform. And when somebody from an healthcare or some industries came where there was a HIPAA compliant which was needed, we would not cater to that industry at all at that moment,
Hmm.
until the time we did not have a self-hosted version of the platform. So we definitely avoided some industries when we want to start off. To the audience, I would like to say that you have to identify, like, we did not go deep into government, we did not go deep into healthcare, because of the regulations which were very common, and we did not have the product at that moment. We identified common use cases and identified that, hey, these are very repeatable problems across industries. So we focused on four major industries. Of course, something which is going to give you your revenue, you have to focus accordingly, yes. But an industry agnostic platform, you need to focus on, you should start focusing on two or three industries at a time, and then expand slowly. Sometimes an agnostic platform, people themselves come with, like, manufacturing was not on my focus radar, but I got use cases through some agencies would come and kind of build custom applications for their customers and clients, and they would say that, hey, we are building it for manufacturing, or we are building it for logistics, we are building it for safety and construction kind of, and they are building a complete dynamic checklist. So those were the industries which I was not particularly focusing, and they come and they give you the stories, and then you start putting more effort into it. We started putting more effort into fintech, into retail, into high growth IT companies, tech companies initially, and then we found more stories.
So it's a difficult for a marketer who's working in an industry agnostic company, right? Who's, we call it as a horizontal SaaS, right? So it's for any SaaS company, the rule of thumb is you have to get your ICP right, and that's because the GTM strategy is predominantly based on that ICP that you want to focus on, right? So especially when it comes to your case, very early, that it's very difficult for a bootstrap company to nail down the use case and industries, right? And even if at a later stage you have multiple use cases and multiple industries to focus on. Okay, so now how do you plan your strategy? How do you plan your demand capture strategy or a demand gen strategy based on these industries? And how do you distribute your budget or resources or all of that on in terms of where to focus on what, right? Because you have too many things and you have too many use cases, too many industries to focus on, right? So
Yeah.
How did you come up with a strategy, and what is your suggestion for people who run an industry agnostic SaaS like DronaHQ?
Yeah. Yeah. So, of course, it is industry agnostic, plus it is not a specific product. I am not selling a customer support tool.
Hmm.
Even if it is industry agnostic, it is only customer support tool that I have to tell to fintech, I have to tell to healthcare, I have to tell to
Hmm.
logistics, I have to tell to retail. So my problem is double folded. It is industry agnostic, plus you can make lot of things out of it. It is not one product. So
Correct.
I also had to focus on all the common use cases across the industry. What we did was we covered the first umbrella term of custom applications, business applications that you would want to build, operational tools. You are replacing your spreadsheet processes and stuff like that. We covered the common umbrella terms, the challenges which were common across the industry. And then we covered the common use cases because the product, we started our content strategy via two, or a marketing strategy via twofold, top down and bottom up approach. So I also influence the CTOs, the product managers, the CIOs, and I also influence the developers who are going to use this platform. So we started you know doing a kind of a metric to identify what kind of content or what kind of strategy we have to identify and focus on. We started creating like admin panel, which is going to be across industry, across um, a vertical within your industry also. So even an admin panel could be useful for an HR or for a marketer or for a revenue operations guy, a dashboard. Uh, those kind of those kind of use cases we started capturing and we started gaining traction over there. We the industry or the platform in which I am working in, it wasn't, when we started off, low code, no code wasn't a very famous term, and still there are myths and doubts around that term. So we also started to do a lot of awareness and educational content during that time. So we started, putting out those stories, and uh, as I said, whenever a new use case or a new story would come, we will do a two-fold strategy. We would start to put that story in that industry vertical. If it is a fintech story or if it is a CPG story, we would do that story in a CPG vertical also, and we would do that story across in the CIO vertical also, the CTO vertical also. That is where we started, doing a twofold attack to strategize and understand what is resonating more, what how to approach the audience. We did not started with bottom up approach for a very very long time. We were only focused more on top down approach uh, for a long time. Eventually, we have identified our niche space that hey, we want to target to this ICP. This is where it is resonating more. We want to focus on, we initially, of course, we started focusing more on people coming and checking the platform and trying it on their own and making those admin panels, the dashboards, dishing out their processes which they are running on their Google Sheets, and then making their own processes and custom applications and portals and stuff like that. Then again, we started focusing more on that, hey, not just one application. If you have, as the industry and the market matured more with other tools and other players coming in, we started saying that, hey, now not just for one use case, if you want to think of low code as a strategy within your organization, because the market was also maturing by that time. Then people started thinking that, hey, I am not going to plan a low code platform or integrate a low code or adopt a low code platform within my organization for one use case. Then the CTOs started coming in picture, the CIOs started coming in picture that, hey, I want to do 10 applications with this platform. I can do 50 applications in a year. Initially, I was delivering only 10 in a year. So then again, we started focusing. So it is always a balancing kind of an act that we keep doing and keep calibrating up and down, saying that, hey, do we want to focus more energy on A or we want to put more? So it was,
Hmm.
I was aware it is not industry specific, but we had to find the common use cases across and then start doing it. As and when I got a strong story of any particular industry, a strong case or a strong customer, I did that run within that industry. So if I got a very strong customer like maybe Mondelez was a CPG story, so then I ran that CPG story specifically for the CPG audiences across, even in in the medias outside and stuff like that. If I get a strong case in fintech or stuff like that, then I went in that direction for a particular industry. I mean, that is my strategy.
Got it. Got it. I think I also agree. So when I also worked in a similar company like yours, right? So I actually did AVM, so it was a lot easier. The company already had a lot of customers, so it was. I mean, there's two scenarios, right? So when you have a lot of customers, it's much easy to identify your ICP versus you probably have worked
Yeah,
in the company from practically from zero to right now, right? So which means it's a lot more difficult.
yeah,
You must have seen a lot of
yeah,
evolution over a period of time,
yeah,
right? And when you have
mm,
zero customers, you don't know where to focus on. As a marketer, difficult to even think like when you sit and like write your strategy or your creative strategy, your mind is
yeah,
very blank and you don't even know where to start, and that goes
yeah,
on and on forever. Okay, so one tip probably that I used is, with a company, right, which is also similar to yours. There are a lot of existing customers. So I took a list of all the existing customers and I saw whichever, in terms of, I just marked in terms of revenue, whichever industry has the maximum revenue. So I said, these are the industries that I'll focus on. Okay, from the top,
yeah,
which is like
yeah,
one, something like a CPG was number one, even for me. Okay.
yeah,
Then probably manufacturing, and I had oil and gas as another one, right? So there are
yeah,
these industries that I started focusing on. So it was much more easier for me to do that because I had data. Without data, it's very, very, very,
yeah,
very difficult, right? And I really,
yeah,
really, understand your situation, right? And how difficult it is. So, okay, so now let's talk about your current channels. Like, what are your current channels? Like, where are you investing your focus and energy and money on? And then after this, what is working for you? So if you can explain that, that will help us understand much more in terms of how do you for a non vertical SaaS, which is like industry agnostic SaaS, right? So where which channels, like how do you strategize in the first place? How do you create content, or which channel is giving you maximum conversions from, right? This maybe a little bit of
yeah.
idea for the audience.
So I am I'll be I am focusing on US and India as my major uh, focus area. Across, of course, we are SaaS platform and we get leads from across the globe. But when I want to focus and spend my time and energy, I'm focusing on these two. But both have a very different ICP on which I'm focusing on. Um,
Hmm.
I'm focusing on a very different ICP in US and I'm focusing on a very different ICP in India. Um, Having said that, my whole outbound, my whole approach, outreach is different. So I have to make sure my content is running common. I cannot have so many different parameters and variables across. So, my content strategy has to be common for both, even though the ICP is very different, the process is very different, my approach is very different in both the geographies at this moment. Um, I am experiment what is working for me, and so a lot of organic. I'm I'm giving my taxes in terms of performance marketing. Yes, I am paying my taxes, and I'm getting the right leads, the quality of leads. Also, something that has also worked for me is uh, I'm not putting too much of dollar value or money at brand awareness at this moment, but I'm taking up the low hanging fruits. I am,
Hmm.
whenever people have understood a competitor product better, I am also trying to pitch in there that, hey, these are the comparison areas and these are the comparison stuff, and this is what you can evaluate. And we have a better strategy in terms of the ROI value that the audience will derive out of it. So we are focusing a lot on that low hanging fruits. across where there is an awareness. So I don't have to burn a lot of effort and money in creating that awareness. So my first or the lowest hanging fruit is the awareness is already there. If it is not there, then I focus on uh, I am in India. I am also focusing on outreach in terms of ABM, in terms of events and stuff like that. But when it is in global audience, I am focusing more on tech collaborations, tech partnerships, in terms of organic outreach, and because because the ICP is completely different. The way they operate is very different. The way a person decides to buy a platform here versus person who decides to buy a platform in an organization in US is very different. So it helps me identify that, hey, what is my ICP doing and who has the power and who has the capacity and what are the challenges, and I completely focus on different areas. I have partitioned the two different content strategy or the marketing strategy both in that fashion. So lot of bottom up approach, lot of developer centric content, lot of content from the people who are going to build and how it is going to make it simpler, the way it is easier. Those kind of things really work for me in the content and tech partnership kind of an area. But events wherein we identify the kind of accounts, we identify the kind of outreach that we want to do, we identify the kind of use cases they want to talk about. That strategy we are adopting in India. Of
Okay.
course,
As a head of marketing,
majorly
huh,
organic is my major inbound. Organic is my major focus area, and the kind of uh, leads, the quality of leads that it's giving me is good. At the same time, I am definitely paying my taxes. I'm doing my performance marketing. It is working for me. I have had good results. I'm experimenting a lot with performance marketing across. Um, yeah, that is how my strategy is at this moment.
got it. So your biggest source of leads MQLs is organic, and probably the number two. Can I say it's performance? Mostly Google Ads, right?
Yes, yes, yes,
Got it. Okay.
yes,
Any other channel that's working for you? Like you said, events, right? Events is something that you also
yes.
events and
Events
outreach.
and tech collabs. Yeah, sorry. So we do
Take collabs,
events. We do event.
outreach
Yeah.
basically outbound.
Tech collabs is something like our platform integrates with a lot of technology tools and products. So we partner with your marketing teams and say that, hey, uh, so a very simple example is uh, we are having two webinars this month with some MariaDB and InfluxDB. So anybody who's going to use an InfluxDB and they want to create a custom tool on top of it, they can use DronaHQ to build it. So we collaborate with a lot of such partnerships and marketing teams and engage the audience and try and educate them that this is how you can do it in a better fashion. It helps in both the ways, even for so collabs. It is basically collabs that they get an audience and we get an audience and we can together attack the same problem and give a better solution to the ICP. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So in terms of marketing's measurement metrics, right? So what is your typical like OKR look like, right? In some companies I see it is MQL, some companies I see it's SQLs or SQOs, sales qualified opportunities. In some companies, a lot of the companies also moving towards revenue marketing, which is also like the pipeline that you generate, right? So what is your view in terms of what should be the measurement? Like what should marketers do? Should they take an MQL target or an SQL target or like an opportunity target? Like what is your take in terms of that?
So uh, as we're evolving, I started with an MQL target when I really wanted to focus initially because I was building because the number of leads, the number of signups were low. I started with like an MQL target that hey, let's focus on the right ICP, because are we doing the right content? Are we doing the right tofu, bofu, everything?
Hmm.
So, if we are doing content across all the three, are we able to talk right language to the audience or not? So we started with a lot of MQL as a primary metrics for a very long time. Once we achieved the numbers that, hey, we wanted to achieve so many leads in a month and X many number of demo calls in a month, then we started slowly going down the funnel, identifying that, hey, our what is an opportunity size, or how many demos in a month are we closing? Then we moved down to the funnel saying that, okay, what is the churn rate like? Maybe I'm converting from X channel so many customers and Y channel so many customers, but is there a churn? Is there a new story? Are we able to upsell? Because my platform is such that, okay, it's not like a one-time customer support tool that you're going to buy and you're going to use it that way. You're going to use the same platform for more other use cases once you get the taste of it. So I understand, as a marketer, I did not want to just focus on, say, hey, MQLs or demos, it is done. What about other areas? How are we educating them for further more use cases? So we eventually moved. Of course, I still do look at the metrics for MQLs and SQLs, but I also have an eye on the kind of revenue generating numbers that, hey, what is my MRR?
Okay, got it. And you still have like your calls with your CEO or your boss, right? Whoever it is. The typical measurement is MRR. Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that what you measure right now, which is the MRR, right? Got it. Okay.
Not just the MRR, I still
So
measure
in
the
terms of,
MQLs, the
yeah,
SQLs, and the MRR. MRR is something which is very motivating.
yeah, got it. Makes sense. And for a product like yours, which is also, sign up funnel and, product led, you have to use and, you have to build your own like solution of, workflows, right? It is all the more
Yeah,
important to, see that journey and, try to make them use more. And then like there are multiple use cases,
yeah,
right? If a person comes in,
yeah, yeah,
a CTO comes in, if he's building one, product inside that, then he can also build multiple products, right? So there's a lot more
yeah,
for you to sell
yeah.
if you are looking at like a overall funnel, right?
Thank you for watching, guys. Please subscribe to Rev Growth. Thanks again for watching.